Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
And now protests are popping up around the country. Good evening, I'm Lily Bradley. Thanks for joining us. These protests after President Donald Trump signed an executive order. The order bars people from 7 Muslim-majority countries from entering the U.S. Scott McLean has the latest from Dulles Airport outside of Washington, D.C.
Protests, court orders, and confusion after President Donald Trump's executive order temporarily banning people from 7 Muslim-majority countries.
No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here.
The order, signed late Friday afternoon, also suspended all refugee admissions for 120 days and barred Syrian refugees indefinitely. Some travelers were detained in the U.S. Others were unable to board flights from abroad or turned back when they arrived. In response, people filled airports in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Dallas, and New York, and they flooded streets in Boston, Washington, and Seattle. At Washington's Dulles International, the protesters have largely gone home, but the lawyers are still there. Haley Tamborello is one of them.
We're just trying to provide whatever support we can so that we can make this go as smoothly as possible for everyone.
Iran and Yemen said the order helped fuel terror propaganda. So did Republican Senators John McCain and Lindsey Graham. Iraq called for the White House to reconsider. So did Democrats in Congress, who say they'll fight it tooth and nail.
This executive order was mean-spirited and un-American.
But the White House is not backing down. President Trump even mocking Schumer's emotional statement.
There's about a 5% chance that it was real, but I think they were fake tears.
These protests are close to home. Ohio University students joined the thousands across the country protesting President Trump's latest executive order. No hate, no fear. America is already great. With signs like these, the Iranian Student Society was protesting against President Trump's latest executive order. The executive order is banning citizens of Iran and 6 other predominantly Muslim countries from entering the United States for 90 days. Around 20 students held signs and chained their hands in front of Ohio's Baker Center around noon today. Elena Klimas is the vice president of the International Student Union at Ohio University. Now she is informing affected students about their rights.
So I think the order came as a surprise to a lot of people, especially students at Ohio University, especially, the populations from those countries. And International Student Union is sort of just trying to figure out where we stand, trying to figure out how we can best help the students.
The Trump administration's executive order may affect students at colleges across Ohio. The Ohio State University released a letter stating, if you are a citizen of any of the 7 countries, we strongly caution against travel outside of the United States at this time. And closer to home, Hawking College released a statement to WOUB News saying in part, while it is unclear what the specific ramifications will be regarding this new policy, we will continue to monitor the situation and keep our international students appraised accordingly. On Sunday, Ohio Republican Senator Rob Portman criticized President Trump's executive action temporarily banning travel to the U.S. from 7 Muslim-majority countries.
One, it is not a ban. However, I think it was not properly vetted. So you have an extreme vetting proposal that didn't get the vetting it should have had. And as a result, in the implementation, we've seen some problems.
Portman also said he's glad that 2 federal judges temporarily blocked parts of the order, adding that Congress needs to step in to help strengthen how the U.S. screens visa applicants. On another issue, he says lawmakers should not allow Trump to take solo action that rolls back sanctions on Russia.
Good evening and welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Adriana Davies. And this past weekend, we had temperatures that were right around seasonable for this time of the year. The past few weeks, we had that little spring tease, but those temperatures will not be back for a while, probably until spring. But as for right now in Athens, we're looking at 29 degrees with winds from the north at 3 miles an hour. Around the region, we see 32 down in Ironton and Chillicothe, 28 up in Cambridge and Columbus, and 26 over in New Martinsville. Relatively chilly temperatures. It's kind of below average as well for this time of the year. So these temperatures are going to get progressively colder as the night moves on. 26 in Athens, 29 down in Ironton, 25 up in Newark, 24 over in New Martinsville, with partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies around the region for tonight. Our overnight, hour by hour, the chance of rain will begin to set in after the midnight hours, and that rain may even be a little bit of freezing rain, possibly snow, probably just sticking to the freezing rain. By 8 p.m., 27 degrees, by midnight, 29 degrees, and by 4 a.m., 34 degrees. Now back over to you, Lily.
It's been less than 2 weeks since Athens resident Alex Andrews was shot in his Brown Avenue home, but the shooter is still at large and the search continues. The Athens Police Department is investigating the case, and a $2,000 reward is being offered through Athens County Crime Solvers Anonymous. If you or anyone you know has any information on the case, you're asked to reach out to the Athens Police. State health officials say independent hospitals like the Hocking Valley Community Hospital may be at risk of shutting down with an outright repeal of Obamacare. The concern is that a repeal would increase the number of patients who do not pay for services. The loss of funds would affect local independent hospitals more than state-owned facilities. The mayor of Lancaster sent his letter of resignation, to City Council this morning. The move comes merely a few hours before City Council was set to approve a resolution for him to step down. Last month, Brian Kuhn was found guilty on 2 counts of tax evasion. He was sentenced to 90 days of house arrest. His wife is in prison for embezzlement after Kuhn gambled away nearly $2 million from 2012 to 2015. The resignation is set to take effect this Friday. Columbus police say a mother made up a story about her missing daughter so police would quickly find her stolen car. The mother called 911 early this morning, reporting that her 4-year-old daughter was in the back seat of a stolen car. That's when an Amber Alert was issued. Now, authorities say the car was stolen, but the girl was never in the car. The mother has been charged with making a false statement. Her kids are now with Franklin County Children's Services. West Virginia residents may be the newest targets in a phone scam circulating much of the U.S. The scam involves a random phone caller asking, "Can you hear me now?" The state attorney general's office says answering yes allows the caller to record the word and misuse it as the consumer agreeing to pay for a product or service. Officials are urging anyone who receives a call to just hang up the phone. After the break, President Trump is set to make a big announcement tomorrow. We'll update you on his potential Supreme Court justice nominees. And terror in Canada. The world mourns after an attack on Quebec City Mosque. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric III, reminding you to be heroic.
6 people are dead and 5 others remain hospitalized today after a shooting inside a Quebec City mosque last night. Canadian authorities are investigating the incident as an act of terrorism, and 1 suspect has already been arrested. Karen Kaifa has the latest.
Canadian authorities in Quebec City spent Monday investigating an attack inside the Quebec Islamic Cultural Center on Sunday night and looking into whether more accomplices were involved.
We're still in the early stage of the investigation. We're still trying to determine all the facts associated with the incident.
Witnesses said at least 2 gunmen dressed in black fired at random inside the mosque Sunday night. The attack is being investigated as an act of terrorism. Police say 2 people were taken into custody Sunday night. 1 is now described as a witness, the other a suspect. Canadian police say a suspect called 911 during the attack.
The suspect contacted 911 and identified himself as being involved with the incident.
The mosque said they were previously targeted last June when they received a wrapped pig's head. The Quran prohibits consumption of pork, and pigs are considered unclean. Police said 39 others inside the mosque were uninjured. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called the attack heart-wrenching.
An act of violence of this nature has no place in Canadian society.
Quebec Premier Philippe Couillard urged unity.
Muslim Quebecers, we are with you. This is your home. You're welcome here. We are all Quebecers.
Monday vigils were planned in Quebec City and in Montreal. The White House said President Trump spoke with Prime Minister Trudeau to offer condolences. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Sean Spiker, White House spokesman, confirmed the call and said President Trump offered to help Canadian law enforcement in any way he can. President Trump is set to announce his pick for the next Supreme Court justice. On Twitter, Trump said he would make the announcement live Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. 2 people close to the process say Trump finished interviewing potential nominees last week. It is believed his picks are down to 3 judges: Neil Gorsuch, who sits on the Federal Appeals Court in Denver, Thomas Hardiman of the 3rd Circuit Court of Appeals, and William H. Pryor, Jr., who sits on the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Insiders cautioned that Trump could still change his mind and deliver a surprise nominee. Former President George H.W. Bush is on the mend. The 92-year-old was released from Houston Methodist Hospital this afternoon. He was admitted more than 2 weeks ago with a respiratory issue related to pneumonia. His wife, former First Lady Barbara Bush, was also being treated at the same hospital for bronchitis. She was released last week after a course of antibiotics. Thousands of travelers are stranded after a computer outage forced Delta Airlines to cancel more than 100 flights. It began Sunday when the airline's computer system went down. Early this morning, the company's CEO apologized in a message on the airline's website and called the failure unacceptable. Passengers faced similar delays last August when a fire at Delta's operations center grounded thousands of flights. It is not known what caused the most recent computer outage. On Wall Street today, stocks across the board dragged lower following investors' concerns over Trump's executive orders. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. After the break, a new study shows social media may be more isolating than you think. That story's still ahead.
And seasonable temperatures are back on their way. The next chance for rain and snow will be coming up this week. We'll talk about that and more up next on Newswatch.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences. They want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Good evening and welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Adriana Davies. And right now in Athens, we're looking at 29 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with winds from the north at 3 miles an hour. Right now around the region, 32 down in Ironton and over in Chillicothe, 28 up in Columbus and over in Cambridge, and 29 in Newark and New Lexington. Our almanac for today, we were right around normal. We are actually a few degrees below, which we are not used to because we've been so many degrees above normal recently that we're actually sitting a little bit below. Tomorrow will be a little bit warmer, but our low was a little bit above average as well today. So we will begin to see these normal temperatures as we move into the rest of this week and probably for the rest of the next few months until we start to hit the spring months as well. Our precipcast for tonight, we will see that low pressure system start to move in. The warm front that's moving through brought some of that snow with it. We'll see the chance for rain increase into tomorrow. You can see we're kind of on the border of the rain and the snow, so we'll probably get rain. The temperatures are looking like they're going to be a little bit warmer at the surface, so we will see that chance for rain over snow. But as for tonight in Athens, 24 degrees under overcast skies. These are chilly temperatures with winds from 10 to 20 miles an hour from the south-southwest. So those will be gusty winds, which will bring down that temperature. The wind chills will be a little bit cooler. 29 degrees in Ironton, 25 up in Newark, 28 over in Chillicothe for our overnight lows. At the bus stop tomorrow morning, chilly temperatures. We'll see that freezing rain, snow mix throughout the morning hours, 38 degrees. Chilly temperatures, like I said, and winds from 10 to 15 miles an hour. Over the day planner for tomorrow, 38 degrees by 8 a.m. By noon, 43 degrees, and by 4 p.m., 44. 44 degrees is our high for tomorrow. There is a chance for rain, like I said, gusty winds throughout the day as well. Our temperatures around the region, 51 down in Ironton, 39 up in Newark, and in the mid to lower 40s around the rest of the region. As for our extended forecast, 44 degrees, like I said, for our high for tomorrow. We will see temperatures start to dip back down into the 30s, and even into our lows will reach like the mid 20s to lower 60s the 16. You could see that on Friday night with that chance of snow reaching into Sunday. Now back over to you, Lily.
Thanks, Adriana. A new study indicates that social media can be more isolating than you'd think. Rather than bringing us together, it can put us in an echo chamber where we only read things we already agree with. Kim Hutcherson has more in today's Health Minute.
While it may seem like social media is a great tool to expand your world, a new study shows it actually can do just the opposite. According to a team of researchers in Italy, people on social media tend to share content that relates to a specific narrative, even if it's false. The researchers mapped the spread of conspiracy theories and scientific information on social media. They found that instead of sharing content that challenges views, social media users lean towards confirmation bias, which is a person's tendency to search, read, and share information that confirms pre-existing beliefs. And it's not just the conspiracy theorists who do it. Users that are more scientifically minded are guilty of confirmation bias as well. That may explain why some family members or friends keep sharing that same article on Facebook, or how fake news can spread like wildfire. But if you want to avoid sharing misinformation, researchers recommend a simple step. Instead of blindly sharing articles, do your own fact-checking before you post that next link. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
The average person has 5 social media accounts and spends around 1 hour and 40 minutes browsing these networks every day.
Hello everyone, I'm Megan Vanslow. Coming up in sports, I'll give a weekend recap of how Ohio men's and women's hoops overcame injuries on the road, and a Vinton County success story of Coach Combs' battle with lymphoma last summer and how he continues to lead the Vikings to victory. That's next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric II, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric II, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back, I'm Megan Vanslow. In case you missed Hardwood Heroes last night, the #1 Vinton County Vikings took out the #2 Athens Bulldogs 85-52 Friday night. The first quarter was a lot of back and forth. Athens even had a 16-14 lead until the Vikings pulled away in the second. A buzzer beater 3 gave them a 12-point cushion going into the locker room, and the rest was smooth sailing with strong performances from Tristan Bartow and Nayland Yates. While the Vikings are finding success battling opponents on the court, their coach successfully battled lymphoma last summer. Catherine Morey has the details.
About probably 25 days or so of treatments off and on, and that was pretty much it, you know. And you see people a lot worse off, and again, makes you thankful for what you have, and so far so good.
While Coach Combs was in treatment, basketball at Vinton County never stopped, even when the players first found out.
Inside, it kind of crushed me, man. We love Combs, and the whole community loves Combs, but we knew without a doubt he was getting through it, no problem. And look at him, he's looking great, just as good as always. So we had confidence in him.
I don't really think he changed. I mean, from last year to this year, he's still as enthusiastic as he was. I mean, same person really, I guess.
The team welcomed back their coach with open arms and continued dominating on the hardwood.
You know, really people talk about beating cancer or fighting cancer, and you do have to have some willpower, but it's really the grace of God, you know, just to get you through it. I mean, because there's a lot of people that fight hard and never get through it because it's just a nasty disease. But I was fortunate and lucky, really.
Catherine, I'm glad to hear that Coach Combs had a good recovery. Ohio men's basketball is still figuring out how to have success without Antonio Campbell, and this weekend it was in the form of Jerron Simmons. He led Ohio in points and assists in the 96-72 victory in Bowling Green Saturday. In fact, Simmons has 80 points since Campbell got hurt, averaging 20 a game. Tomorrow, Ohio faces Western Michigan again, and the Bobcats won 89-53 when they played on January 3rd. The Ohio women are also found success on the road with a starter injured this weekend. Jasmine Weatherspoon hurt her foot against Western Michigan last Wednesday and sat out on Saturday. Ohio still managed to beat rival Miami 79-62 with the help of Kiera Lampkin's double-double and a season-high 17 points from Hannah Bosinger. LeBron James became the first player in Cavaliers history to score 20,000 points for the franchise in the 107-91 victory over the Thunder yesterday, despite Kevin Love sitting out in the second half from back spasms. Tonight, though, Cleveland is in Dallas for an 8:30 tip against the Mavericks. The number 3 Ohio hockey team took the weekend to have fun for a good cause. They hosted the 6th annual Ice Ghost game, where the current team plays Ohio hockey alumni to raise money for the American Cancer Society. Over $4,000 were donated online before the game, and a portion of Friday's ticket sales will be donated too. That's it for sports. I'm Megan Vanslow. Back to you, Lily.
Thanks, Megan. A visually impaired veteran is using a second set of eyes to hit the slopes. Sergio Monzon was injured in a mortar blast serving in Iraq a decade ago. He suffers from blurred and double vision and no depth perception, but he skis like a pro thanks to Achieve Tahoe, an organization dedicated to getting disabled people out on the snow. An instructor skis ahead of Sergio and feeds him directions on a headset. It allows this wounded warrior to do something he never thought possible.
And tonight in Athens, 24 degrees with overcast skies, chilly and windy temperatures. We'll see 10 to 20 miles per hour at southwest winds tonight. As for tomorrow in Athens, 44 degrees. There is a chance for rain. Those gusty winds will carry over as well. Winds from the west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles an hour. As for our extended forecast for the 7-day, 44 like I said tomorrow, 43 through Wednesday, and then we'll start to see temperatures drop off into the weekend. Friday's looking a little bit chilly, 16 degrees as our low, and then into Sunday we'll see our next chance for snow start to set in. Now over to you, Lily.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Lily Bradley. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.